Yeah, so you should be able to find us on live right now. We're there. Also, where else are we? Yeah, all those different places where you normally find us. That's where we are right
I'm
now.
about to go live in a moment too.
Yes, and I'm also going to send you the link as well so that they can see you there. Hold on.
Do that.
That's live radio for you. All right, we're coming off of the heels of a big weekend. I still consider Sunday not really the new week yet, but you said your week starts on Sunday, right?
Yeah, that's the first day of the week.
On a calendar.
And that's how I live my life.
Oh.
So the weekends are split up.
Into what?
Like, okay, the weekend. People say the weekend starts on Saturday, right?
No.
So when your weekend start?
Wednesday night.
See, that's so interesting.
I mean, for the most part, I will say that it starts on Friday, like Friday around 3:00. That's
so Friday when you get out of work, that's when your weekend starts.
Yeah.
Okay, technically, yeah, but Sunday I start preparing for the next work week. I'm washing clothes all day. I'm cooking dinner. I'm getting folks bottles and stuff fixed and getting my life together for work.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like when my week started Sunday.
I know.
No more fun stuff. I sleep on Friday nights and Saturday if I do something.
That's your
fun,
one weekend day.
My weekend is one day. It sucks.
Yeah, I don't know about
so
that.
So awful. That's probably what's wrong with me.
Probably you're not doing it right.
Right. What?
So you sleep on Friday
night
and Saturday. You telling your age?
I have an 8-month-old.
Oh man, okay,
right, so
that's why. Okay,
right.
I knew it was something. Okay.
Like I've been up since 5:30 this morning.
Wow.
Right.
Well, congratulations.
Right, like
good night. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, I will say on some Friday nights I will sleep. On some Friday nights, on Saturdays, that is the day where like all the other stuff you said, I try to do that on those days, but
on
Saturday, yeah. But it depends on what's going on in the world. Most times that's when your street festivals,
I miss a lot of
it's outside
stuff.
day where you need to pack him up and get outside.
You right.
Stopping you. The other part of it is that Sunday for me is like that end of the other week, so that when you get out like bottles and stuff, preparing for the next week.
Yeah,
it's preparation, meaning that Monday should be your new start.
Because I get up Monday through Friday, probably about 5:15, and I go until about 6:30 every day. So I don't have time. I already be tired.
We're gonna work on that.
I need a nanny.
You and a calendar planner. So look, for those of you who are tuning in, when does your week start? Does it start now on Sunday, or does it start tomorrow on Monday morning?
You said yours start on Wednesday.
My weekend.
Your weekend. Right.
My weekend starts like.
So what's going on Wednesday?
It just depends. It's just my energy. So I think for me, it's the way that I feel that determines like, okay, I feel the festivities starting to rise. Okay. But that normally happens on Thursday.
Okay.
Thursday, probably about 2:30, 3:00. So by the time you get to Friday, 3:00,
you need a nap.
Ain't no work. No. Unless it's party time. Okay.
I don't have a weekend
at all.
No, because I work from. I probably get up about 5:30. Get the kids on the bus, then go to work. I work until about 3 or 4, and then baseball practice is from like 5 or 6 until like 8 or 9, and then from there is sleep, and then we have games all during the weekend on the weekends. So I don't have one.
Okay, what is your weekend? It looks really funny on the screen, but what is your weekend? And I think about people who are retired, people who work from home, people who. Just different situations.
Now, people who work from home, like every day is a weekend for them. I bet work from home.
I bet they differ.
I work from home for like a week, and I don't know how they can do it. Like I have such a hardest time focusing and actually doing the work. I get bored. I started fixing sandwiches, watching TV, scrolling Facebook. I could not focus on work for nothing.
Like work from home.
Like what you do, work from home for 8 hours. Like normally your job don't take 8 hours to do.
Right. You don't go to the mall on your lunch break.
They be in Starbucks with their laptop acting like they doing something. Lovely Bones.
So I'm asking that question, and I do see. I want to see what our people are saying in the different places that they are. So okay. What up, Bree Red? Bree says that Friday afternoon, I'm out of there. So her weekend starts on Friday afternoon. Hey, Joyce Christian. Hello from Ansley Highlands neighborhood president. Hey there. When does your weekend start? I really want to know how that goes for people, because that'll lead us into what we just discussed. Or what I'm lying, what we're about to discuss.
I feel like, honestly, the work week should be like Monday through Thursday. I think it's unfair to work 5 days a week and just have 2 days off. Like, how is that balanced?
That does make sense. The weekend. So the end of the working week is why the weekend is important.
Right.
Huh. Also, I used to work from home every day, and it wasn't a weekend every day, but I did have more flexibility in my day. So, yeah, the more that you can do at home during the week, like if you can wash those loads of clothes while you're working your job, if you can, meal prep and cook meals, that's all of that.
You can pay bills, you
All
can handle
of that.
business.
And it does make your weekend last a little bit longer because you've got a chance to do more during the week.
Right. Like,
Bones, jump in. When does your weekend start?
Every day, thank God.
Oh,
see?
How were you able to do this?
Because I work for myself.
So what I'm kind of imagining is that most people I'm imagining them right now saying that, hey, if I'm my own boss, I guess I can dictate what the weekend looks like. So that makes me think that weekend is a state of mind.
It's a state of mind and how much business like you actually can get done in the amount of time that you reserve for that. Because like we spoke on yesterday, you do have some of these private business owners and their hours say one thing on the door. And then you get there, say it says 9 to 7, and you don't get there till 11:30. Tell me, we finna open in a minute.
So you did. So tell us just briefly, you went to a place yesterday
I
and tried to
did.
purchase something, and the door said what?
9 to 7, and it was about 11:15.
2 hours and 15 minutes later.
Right. How do you run a
That's SpongeBob
business?
music.
Like
2 days later.
Right. Like, how do you run a business and you don't open when you say you're going to open? Like, I've seen several Black-owned businesses that do that. I do not like that. Like, what you doing? It looks bad.
It's my business. So put a sign up that says,
call me.
This is CP time. I know the door say 9, but I be here about 11:30, depending on where I went last night.
Oh my God.
Right. All that on the sign. Let me know what I'm walking into. I have certain expectations.
When does your weekend start? 994-8949. I'm curious about that in particular, simply because we have had a festive weekend, and this is the first weekend of spring that we just made it through. We survived the first weekend. I know some people are like, I barely survived it because my allergies were kicking my butt because the pollen is going crazy.
The weather going crazy.
Yeah.
It's cold some nights. I turn on my heat, then I turn on my air during the day. Like,
yeah. And tomorrow is going to be almost in the 80s, I hear. Boy, oh boy.
80s.
Yeah,
I'm glad I'm inside at work.
Yeah, see? So that's what
I'm
I want
off tomorrow.
All right, so you get to be outside.
Yeah.
It's going to be a beautiful day. So thinking about the weekend that the first full weekend of 2022, first full weekend of spring, rather, 2022. And there were a lot of things that happened. I want to kick off talking about the first ever brunch. Yeah, it was amazing. So
Understatement.
Yeah.
I must be honest. I've been doing events for a long time. So I don't have that feeling every time that we do something. Sometimes it's just, that was good. That worked out. But putting on for the guys, I would say this: men are very, very much appreciative of being loved and supported and featured. It was they
came out there looking like they cared about themselves. Like the caliber of men that were there, I promise you, they look like they pay all their bills on time. Like, they gonna pay that they got like a pretty decent credit score. Like, even if they don't, they look the part.
They absolutely
they
did.
were in suits, and I saw a couple bow ties, I saw loafers, I saw
they urban wear was slick.
Right,
as well,
it was. I saw some dope tennis shoes. I did see the Omegas. Like,
yeah, the Qs came out in mass numbers. The Sigmas were out.
Yep.
The Kappas were okay. All of the fraternities represented. Only group that I didn't see, NRA was out. NRA is not a Greek letter organization, but an African letter organization. They were out. I didn't see any IOTAs out. Iota Phi Theta was not present. Not that I know of.
I think I've seen those before.
You did?
No, I think okay, no, I didn't see them. Excuse me. Don't let me lie on you guys. No, girl.
Oh. So they came out. It was great. Really? Now, let me tell you what. That took you back to state?
Yeah.
Girl, the sweatsuit took me back up.
Like, that's why she said it, because like it didn't look at me when she said I owed her. She smirked and looked down.
She didn't look at me when she said sweatsuits.
I mean, there was a lot of different things happening. I want to talk about the event, guys. Okay, ladies. Yeah. So
the event was really, really dope. Like, I haven't been outside in a very long time. As I said it before, I have a baby. So, like, for this to be able to come outside and represent with my Vital Vixenz and Woo, and she put on this brunch. Well, we put on this brunch. Yeah, you did. So that's what I thought about it. It was really, really great. If you were not there, shame on you.
Shame.
I don't know what you did with your day yesterday, but you should have been at.
They're gonna be at the next one.
I know they are.
You know, I do want to take an opportunity to speak to the business owners because part of your team, you had us speaking to them, right? And we spoke well, but some of them were under the impression like, oh, I don't want to do another pop-up shop. And we kept saying like, it's not a pop-up shop. We want you to be able to showcase your business in its limited spaces, right? So after I got out there, so many businesses was like, oh, I didn't understand. And I was like,
did you not read? Oh, okay. So put a pin in that.
Yeah, girl.
Put a pin in that. We're gonna come back to that. I want to talk about so you talk about the businesses, and I guess those who are more of vendors, but the idea of the brunch, when you think about everything that they were able to gain, there was a table set up for mental health.
Yeah.
Hey, Deborah. Set up for mental health, two setups for physical health. They were able to be screened. So those are the two spaces that were mental, physical. There were pastors there. There were some prayers that were had on the lot during the event. So spiritual was there. That's mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, because we definitely spoke words of affirmation all evening, all day. It was
all day. I felt
afternoon.
So good, like complimenting these men, and they were not only bros, they were gentlemen.
Yeah.
Their wind was awful. And my hat kept flying off, and every time they did, one of them picked it up and put it back on my head ever so gently.
Oh, God!
And they were opening the doors for us, and like these were gentlemen.
They were
the holistic approach to showering our male counterparts, and that's what's necessary. We had when I say an amazing time, all of the feedback was great, and like I made it very clear from the beginning, this is the first one. This is the first one. So anything that happens today, talk to me about it. Maybe we can address it. Maybe it was just a first time type of kink and you'll be okay. And they got it. Everybody was cool with that.
I was about to say, because it wasn't like, what could have been the complaint?
But you know how people are. You know how it goes. So you just give the disclaimer. Hey, first time. Let's keep it rolling.
We did awesome for the first time. Toot my own horn and yours too. Tugboat and yacht toots around. Honey, it was such an amazing vibe. From start to finish, even with the wind being as strong, because it wasn't strong, it was strong.
We had some Chicago type Windy City vibes going on.
But it felt really great outside though. But that wind was just like not too good. Here you go, girl.
God was blessing. That's what happened.
Yes, he blew the blessing from heaven down upon us.
Got a comment from V. Some of the Jefferson County candidates were there. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Not going to call them by name, but yes, absolutely. Go back and
the
see
ones who said that they were coming, they came.
Absolutely.
And so I like that about people who stick to their word.
And some of them, if they didn't come, their team came.
Yeah.
And I thought it was so
I did
dope.
see that too.
And those people that you saw already have saved their spaces for the next one.
So now this will be called the second annual brunch.
So will it
are we going to continue? I was just about to say that.
Because somebody else said, see y'all next year. And I was like, sir,
I'll see you next quarter. Okay.
Stop playing. So yeah, we got a year. Annual means year. No,
maybe the annual one is the grand,
big one.
Okay. So this is season 1 of the brunch.
Yeah, child.
Because you know how I operate.
Maybe that's what he meant. Because you operate in reality TV shows, right?
And she does. Look, and don't play with her,
please.
So bring us up to speed on what's happening in reality TV. Then we'll go back to the brunch thing.
Local reality TV as well.
Oh, y'all. So last week I brought up Zeus's Bad Boys Los Angeles, right?
You did.
I did not have Zeus TV, but I'm so nosy. I went and I downloaded Zeus's $5.99 a month. Once this season of Bad Boys Los Angeles is over, I will be canceling that because that's my $5.99 a month. But you got Andrew Caldwell on there. He's not so delivered.
Mr. Delivered.
Oh, he's not delivered on the show?
Not really, not according to Milan, who is also on the show. Because apparently Andrew been in his inbox saying really nasty things.
Oh my
Then you have Kirk Franklin's son.
No, Kirk
the one that
Plies.
Kurt Franklin is Plies. Plies is Kurt Franklin, but his son, the one that was mad at him for not showing him the same love he showed other children. Remember?
Oh,
It's him.
Yeah, it's
trouble.
a couple of rappers, it's some Caucasian ones, but the whole thing is they all live in this house together.
Mhm.
It's like 8 of them, but 2 of them claim that they're straight. But what 2 straight men live in a house with 6 homosexual men? But anyway,
none.
right? They all living in this house. They got to fight in the first episode. Andrew left and tried to cash them folks' check.
It's fraud, isn't it?
He quit the show and decided he was gonna try to cash them people checks. They caught him at the airport. He was like, "I'm not giving anything back."
Ooh,
With the list.
and he
No,
stole it,
I'm in
though.
the. Well, how did y'all find me?
But he had
You're
only
harassing
done,
me.
He hadn't even done. He had only done the one show.
He only did the photo shoot for the promo. That's what he got into it at. I don't come here for this. It
know.
was really
Hey, if
bad.
you don't,
I was so
that
into
list
it.
serious.
So he
isn't
will
it?
definitely be back though. So you know how you have those cliffhangers on the first episode where
Yeah.
somebody leaves and then they come back and go to the confession room and it's
It's a really, really nice house, though. A really nice mansion.
they're gonna tear it up when they fight.
Natalie Nunn is the executive producer, and if
Who is
y'all
that?
don't, Natalie
The
Nunn,
bad girl,
girl from Bad Girls with the. She has one of them chins like the guy on Family Guy.
Oh dear
Okay.
God, she
Um,
really does.
Moving right along. So
But yeah,
if you don't have Zeus TV, that's a new something to watch and follow, possibly.
yeah, Bad Boys LA, because I think Kurt Franklin's son is gonna bring some other stuff to the social media. And unless you watch the show, you're not gonna really know the
What you talking
backstory of
about?
what's going
So
on.
we'll just call you for that.
You can, because y'all call me, ask me anything, I will find it.
What's going on with local reality TV? You
Mhm.
follow the shows on reality TV.
I do that as well. So many things have happened in the last few hours.
Mhm.
There was a shooting at Plush in Bessemer Road. God rest that young man.
Yeah.
So when I said about the energy from yesterday's brunch
Yeah.
compared to
Yeah.
a brunch today,
And
It
I
was
really,
so odd.
it was
We had the
different.
same
Yeah.
thought, yeah.
Because it made me think about it differently, because just yesterday we were brunching, and then today
Mhm.
is this type of brunch that's going on. And I'm just like, that wasn't the same energy we had out
And
there.
we
It was
were-
different.
Thick, just as thick, just as crowded, just
just a different energy or
Yeah,
different,
yeah.
you know. So one thing about it that I always like to be clear on is that when individuals gather in any type of space, you never know who's feeling what, who's thinking what, who's experiencing what. We don't know.
Or who's having a side conversation here. They're looking a
Right.
certain way.
You never ever know. The goal is to come in one piece, leave in one piece, come alive, leave alive, you know, come happy, leave happy, come down, try and leave happy.
Should that be a thought though when I'm going out to have drinks with my friends? Come out to leave alive.
Yeah.
God.
Now, because I thought
That's
about
what
on
we
the
are.
way here, like, I wonder how much it costs to get bulletproof windows on my car.
Wow.
Because like things are just happening just that crazy in our city. A few weeks ago, you had 2 guys shooting back and forth with each other riding down Avenue V.
remember
And there are
that.
houses on Avenue V going down into W. Like, those stray bullets can hit anybody. Like the 14-year-old a few weeks ago on his porch, chilling.
Playing the game or whatever he was doing on the porch. Yeah.
Like, it's really dangerous out here.
So in these situations, these
That's
uncontrolled situations where things can just up and happen. It could just up and happen. You know, like somebody may say on site and you have no idea why it's on site, but it may be you. Just thinking about that. So like I keep going back to the fact that just yesterday, the purpose of the brunch was it's always to have a good time. Like I said, I want people to feel as happy as I do when I'm at my happiest. And then I say that I want people to learn something and feel good when they leave. And that's what we got. We empowered people. We celebrated people, and there was no space. Even the music didn't even dictate how we
It did not. I
responded.
couldn't
just
remember
about
what
to
was
say,
playing.
Yeah.
Old school music.
we-
I do remember
swagged and
swag
surfed.
surf. I remember that. That's our
We
jam.
remember
boosted outside. We did some of everything. 'Cause
Yeah.
Baby outside, TJ DJ was on the ones and twos, baby. On the ones and twos.
So just like when you think about people saying with the music guys, how people respond, it's so much deeper than that. It's a psychological mind state. And so let's
Right.
go to Florida. Let's go to
Oh.
Panama City Beach, Florida.
Oh,
I'm looking
God.
forward to going to Florida in a few weeks. And I can't imagine what's going on in Florida during spring break.
It's awful apparently this year. something apparently was planned to happen this year, like some flyer going around on Instagram, I think maybe.
I can imagine.
They just out there showing out, tearing up all the stores, shooting in multiple different places.
So disappointing.
And right when you see the videos,
It's
who is
us.
it? It looked like us.
Oh, it looked like us.
It is.
It is us.
Oh, okay.
But the videos from like different angles and stuff, like, you know how other people can kind of put you all into one category and just, you know, just generalize, hey, they're like this all the time. This is why we police them like that. This is why the laws are like that and geared towards them.
Is it not true? As this news was breaking this evening, and it may not be true for the full us. Like when we say it is us, I ain't
them,
me.
right?
That's them. However, the same thought process of that demographic, the age group. So like, I'm wondering what happened or what's the issue, the reason that they. So let's go here first. Your spring break used to look like what?
Honestly, so I guess if you compare spring break to Freaknik, the spring break now, I guess, puts me in mind of Freaknik then. The chaos, the crowdedness, the nakedness on the streets, what's happening, right? It is a Freaknik type of situation. If you're from the Ham, she asked me to put it in my perspective.
Yeah.
It puts me in the perspective of when we went to Freaknik.
But how old were you when you went?
Jeez, the first time is like actually when I went to the foot wash.
I've never been to either.
Oh, bless you.
But I haven't been to
19.
I ain't been to the foot wash either. But
right,
ever in life? Are you guys ready?
I would prefer to go to a foot wash that's really a foot wash.
Well, we don't have to go there now because you can smell it before you get there.
And right, like I've seen the videos and pictures. I'm just like,
do I want to go there?
No,
Right.
no, you don't.
It looks like hot dog
But
water.
let's go back to the point. Let's get back to the point, the vital point at hand. Your spring break compared to what's happening now. Spring break for a high school student is not Freaknik. It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be Panama by themselves. Where are the parents? Like, these are children.
If I'm a senior,
no.
You know, like senior trip, it was still chaperone.
Right.
Yep.
So that's what I'm trying to see. What's the difference now as opposed to when we were? What was different?
Well, our kids
have
are getting
more freedom.
$500 cash apps from their parents and saying, "Have a great day."
But what changed? What changed?
No parenting. This young man has something to say. Let me put him on air.
We didn't have cars like they do now.
Vehicles? You think that's it? No,
I had a car
Like,
too.
you weren't free to. If you did, you weren't free to go down to Florida with it.
That's true.
You're right, and it wouldn't have made it. I had a 88 Honda
I
Prelude.
was gonna say, like, and I had my first car was an 84 Celica.
Where we going?
To the gas station, Walmart, McDonald's.
My first car was stolen, so
bad practice.
What are we doing, right? So I really want to know what has changed, and I want honest answers for those of you who are watching. What has changed so much so that now it is what it is. Let's see. Ban the state surrounded areas.
Yeah, we've been banned.
Hold on, let me go back up. So, hey Denise. Denise says y'all won't be going to Florida no more. Okay, Ivy done banned us. I don't know who. I know she banned them, so I'm wondering what that looks like.
Right, so because how do you ban people? How do you know that they're not from the state?
Yeah, because I'm in here. I'm here. Okay. AV Panama City Beach, and then we go back down to a comment from AV that says we was thugging. Worse than this.
We were thugging because remember that we were talking about city stages and how that would go.
ATO slapping soldiers.
Right, but there are more guns and like we would fight. There would be fights, but like the amount of shooting there is now compared to then is completely different.
I think the chaos is on a different level, right?
So it's something. It's
social
media
something
different.
Because you get famous off of that.
Sure.
People feed off of social media.
What up, Cliff?
Being known on social media, making a name like that.
But no one's name is really being provided in the chaos right now because you're kind of just getting glimpsed. People have to run the footage back. Like, was that Tara? Was that your son?
And then the idea of that. So remember the high top fades have now turned into locked crops.
Yeah.
Right. So them fades then fell down to the side.
They look like Sideshow Bob.
Right. And we all kind of fit the bill of what, so I want honest conversation about what you all think. The phone lines are open. What's up, Rashanique? For you to be able to join in on the conversation about what it is. Like, what is it? I really want to know what's the difference now because we were doing different things and we were witnessing people doing a lot. I mean, ain't nothing new under the sun, but it's something different about this.
It's truly a lack of modesty now. Like I think, and it's not a issue or an idea of do you have enough heart to do it, right? Because we all have heart. We'll try something, but now now it's a real lack of modesty. Like it is, I don't care that I slapped this old lady and I took her cane. Beforehand it was some sort of moral code. It was a degree of I'm gonna push this to this limit and then stop. Now it's no ceiling to it.
It's not.
It's you knocked that old lady down. Watch, I'm gonna go jump on one over here in the mall. I'm gonna trump that. It's no ceiling to ignorance. I think for us, it is a true thing. We had a street code. We knew we weren't going to do this in certain areas, and it wasn't a white and black thing. We cared about our areas. We're not going to do this over by the church, the school. The old people stay here, hang out.
But did you know there was a law that like your sentencing is different if you shoot in a school zone or by a church
or
you
can't sell drugs and all that.
It is. And reading on this Panama City Beach stuff. The sheriff has released a statement saying they seized over 21 guns yesterday. Like he said, one of his majors had a gun pointed in his face when he stopped a car, and deputies seized several firearms. And the people weren't from there. Why are you going out of town with several firearms?
Here's what's upsetting. I feel a way being an advocate for our community because I have 100,000 children with 100,000 parents to go with them. That's no accountability there. But if something happens to one of your children, God forbid, by an officer, you're going to want me. You're going to want any of my affiliates to come. You're going to want us to stage protests. You're going to want us to shut it down. But we can't get you to step in and parent. Right. I'm going to need some accountability to start somewhere other than, well, what are y'all doing for the community? What are you doing at home?
Yeah, what am I doing? I'm raising my child to make sure that she's a productive citizen. I'm having conversations. I used to be in these streets, but then it became that, when it's the idea that I was told to my face, don't nobody want to hear that ish. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go over here and teach these students in college who want better. Then I'm gonna go over here and talk to
it puts you off. You're human. You have a right to do that, and I think it is an unfair expectation that when you see someone advocating for the culture that I must quote unquote turn the other cheek. Well, you heard what they said, but somebody got to do it. You do it.
Right.
If everyone took an opportunity to do it for a day, you would feel differently, right? But no one is doing that. You do have a lot of people that are absorbing that attention, that energy, and they are the ones abusing it, right? Your son is out here shooting folks 3 and 4 times, and now you want me to. Now, little Ray got caught up, and the police drug him. We going down here. No, we not.
He shot at the police. Let's not leave that fact out. Like it's your baby when something happens to them, but that's not your baby when they approach someone else in a violent manner, like the incident that happened earlier this week. Forgot the name of the apartments, but a girl shot the police, shot someone in front of the police.
We were talking about that story.
Yeah, right over the way.
Yeah.
So okay. And then even with these different stories, there's so many other stories. I don't know. I wasn't there, so I didn't see it. But I know what we heard, and what we heard wasn't satisfying to our ears. But then I see a question here before we get into any other story that says basically it's the same stuff, right? So now what we gonna do about it? And everybody has these different answers as to what to do, but I think it goes back to what I see parenting in the comments. I hear parenting here, and I can't come in your house and tell you that you're failing as a parent, and then you tell me, well, I'm a single parent. I work 2 jobs. I work.
But you also in the streets too.
Oh my goodness, that's just what our viewer just said. Our viewer just said the problem is our parents are wanting to parent, but they are not wanting to parent. They're still wanting to party.
Boom, boom, boom. That one right there. Then look at CL. What up, CL?
Right.
Sis said no parenting. If the whole family outside, then
they seeing their mama acting up. They seeing their daddy acting up. I'm gonna acting up like my mom and my daddy do.
Brother Will.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna leave.
No, you're not.
Yes, I'm
Will.
But let me ask you a question. Do you think when we were little or when we were coming up and doing bad things, our parents were saying the same things that we saying about the kids now? Not pretty much in the same perspective, not the same, but those kids are bad. Where they coming from? It's a new generation.
No, because my mama just said today, this is different.
Baby, no, because a stranger could whoop me, and I know I'm gonna get another one when I get home. Right now, if you raise up, you could see a parent struggling parenting their child, and you could step in on try to lighten
on
it
a
up.
village approach.
Yes, and you will become the problem, and it has happened to me so many times. So it's like, oh, okay, go ahead, you let little Ray
cuss you out,
nuck if he buck,
knock you out.
Right. We can go back to what y'all talking about, the street code and everything like that. I know when I was coming, you say police or that, you say dad, and that was it for me. But you say police, so enough, it was like whoa, But now police,
they ain't scared of nothing.
Nothing.
These kids are scared of nothing.
I guess they don't care about life. That's what that's what it is.
The part. So
why don't they care about life
or your life?
That is the question. So that psychological piece about when life started to why it matters so little. But then you think about if once again, parenting. If my parent is going through, my parent is broken, my parent is struggling, and we can name the issues that we have, right? Low wages, stress, relationships, past trauma. What are some other issues?
Life,
we got,
health,
right?
Health.
Okay. Self-esteem, and these are our own issues.
Making sure your money meets the bills and you have something left to take care of. The
budgeting,
you do have budgeting, like because that's not something that we were taught in school was budgeting.
Okay. Abandonment, rejection issues that we never healed. Not hearing that we were loved. Nobody told you that they loved you on a regular basis or that you were good enough. And I asked somebody that I asked them that Friday. So is it that you don't feel adequate? Do you feel inadequate with your family? Person said, yes, that's how I feel. I was like, So can you imagine growing up, being an older adult, feeling inadequate with your own people? Like your own people, you're in a circle of your own people and you feel like an outcast because you don't feel like you equal up to what they are or how they are. And then you go out here into the world with that. You mad. Then now I have anger issues. So then I raise my children
to have the same issue too,
right? And so instead of me being a parent that does the opposite of what happened to me, I kind of I inflict what I felt
because I ain't worked my own issues out. So I still got issues. Therefore, my kids get my issues on top of their own issues.
And so now they out here doing what they doing. And I think that kind of goes to this comment from AV. My first felony was shooting up Woodlawn High School. Point. I think we should stop pointing at our children like they're other than when they are a byproduct of us.
I agree with that. I agree with that only to the degree of, so if I'm unhealed, how can I produce a healed individual? I agree with that under those terms. Then I disagree under the terms of, in today's society, if you're not seeking help, you don't want it.
That part, because now help is seeking you.
Help is seeking
out here,
you.
like
yes,
come get help.
Yes.
Hands outreached.
Let me help you with your mental health.
Yes, it's things that it's such a crutching situation if we want it to be, right? But if you start using the term of accountability, it becomes a different conversation, right? Then you'll start hearing the quote unquote reasons why, but no one, once they are able to express that, no one wants to execute the solution, right? No, I can't do that. I ain't got time to go to counseling. I got to go to work, and it's such a conflict of quote unquote life. So I don't know that the balance has been found, or I can't say the balance hasn't been provided, because again, as I've shared with the audience before, I'm someone, I need my therapist, baby. Let me tell you, I'm a participant. I don't care out of pocket me until the insurance run in there.
But look though, Rosa, there's a program. They were live on location at the Brunch yesterday. I'm a therapist with them. Brother, let's talk. So giving with the services that I've had people to call, and I say, so what did they say? She's like, I qualified. I said, what did you say? That my name was so and so, and I wanted to see a counselor. I said, she's like, yeah, they got me.
That
and
qualifies
you get 4 sessions free.
Oh, that's a lot. Let me tell you, that is a lot. Can you imagine being able to release some of these issues and get a clear sound direction on what you should do 4 times.
4 sessions. That's like you unpack the first. Like, if you got somebody that's really on point, they're gonna use that first session for you to do whatever you need to do. Lay it out. They may tell you before you come to write a narrative, bring that in. Let's go on that. Second session, we start picking that apart. Third session, we digging deeper. By the fourth session, all right. So what we need to put in place?
Tools.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's the quick approach, but it can happen. But the thing is, before I get you to that, I got to get you to call.
I gotta get you in here. Yes.
And why don't we call? Now, I am seeing more of us reaching out and getting therapists and things now.
Yeah.
And I don't know why people are becoming so much more aware. But I'm
trendy.
It's okay.
Yeah,
I didn't want to
we
say
spoke
it,
about that.
yeah.
How trendy it is to say it.
I got my therapist said, or I have a therapist. But either way,
I'm
you
triggered.
Don't get me on that, because I asked someone if they were triggered on Facebook, and this girl got mad at me, and I was honestly just being concerned.
Stop saying that you're girl, because my therapist told me don't do that, because that's not what I told you.
That's not what I said.
Not what it was. Yeah, I gotta stop doing that. I want to read this comment. I feel we need to put the STAR program back in schools. What was STAR?
That was the Bad Kids program, wasn't it? Wasn't it for bad kids?
I wasn't in that program.
I wasn't either. Hold on. Let me see.
But it really helps.
Let me Google it.
And the teachers can have full control of the class, and it helps parents at home. Now, I will say, to Rashani's point, programs like DARE.
I remember DARE. We had a DARE program.
Great.
DARE to be drug free.
I remember Great. So Great was for gangs. DARE was for drugs. We had
Wait, Great, was that like a Birmingham?
That was
I never heard of that.
Banging.
Okay,
Great.
That didn't come
Somebody
across
tell me.
me.
Yeah, Great was like green and white type situation. It was about gang stuff. We had what other programs y'all remember? Like the money program where they came in with the bank play checks.
I just remember DARE and the dental truck pulling up, because that's when we saw the dentist. You know, we not.
They did the scoliosis check.
Yeah, we did scoliosis. We did that.
Yeah, crazy. I'm talking about programs that were in place that would help the community, help us be.
Oh, you know, at Woodlawn they had the program when you had a baby, you could bring the baby to school with you. In the back in the daycare. Remember that?
At Woodlawn and West End.
See, remember that? They
did
that. You know, I know about that program. I don't know. I didn't have a baby, but whatever. Move forward.
Moving forward.
I had no idea what the STAR program was for.
What
Because
is
now that
STAR?
I'm reading now, STAR is short-term assessment and respite program.
Okay.
It's a mentor partner with Jefferson County that they assess children in foster care with unique challenges, such as those entering foster care for the first time or those previous placements have not been successful, to determine the services that will best meet their needs.
That's what's up.
I thought STAR was for bad kids. They went to the bad school.
Well, no, ma'am. Okay.
The system failed.
What is a bad kid, first of all?
Them kids that come to school smelling like weed, the ones.
That's not bad kids.
Yeah, don't
well,
do
back
that.
in my day, they we were in school.
Don't do that. That's
look,
not vital of you.
I'm sorry. Because we done had kids coming to school with guns then. Did y'all?
Yes, and they went to Kennedy.
So I was going to say, and I shared this on air before, 11th grade. 11th grade for me was early. When was that? Early
2001.
Yeah. Like, when was that? Like 91? It was 2001. So that year, 2001 for me, this other girl would have been in the 10th grade. And she was upset about a boy on the football team that she thought I was talking to. But she thought he was talking to me. And we were at a party at the Northeast YMCA. Me and my homegirl, Crystal Robinson, my first roommate in college, one time for Crystal. We get in the car. And she chased us to Krispy Kreme on First Avenue to shoot me over this boy.
Shoot you? She had a gun.
She was in the 10th grade. I was in the 11th grade.
You actually saw her with a gun.
Oh, my goodness.
All right. First time. I want y'all to tell you stories if you got one. Second time, Alabama State University, dude that I've seen in Birmingham since this incident. That may have been about 2003. Wanted to talk to me, dude was from Chicago. Later pledged to frat.
Okay.
All right. I was in my class in Taggart. No, it wasn't Taggart. That's at Miles. Trenholm. I was in Trenholm Hall. He said, hey, let me see you in the hallway right quick. What?
Excuse me, you ain't my daddy. You want me to leave class?
In the hallway. So I was like, okay. So I go in the hallway. Pull the gun again. Like this
what?
Sixth time. Yeah, pull the gun and was like, you know what I'm saying? You ain't need, basically, I didn't talk to him. And you know, we've heard that story about girls not talking to guys and they take that approach.
Yeah.
I'm like, so you gonna shoot me in the hallway? And I said some other choice words. I went back in the classroom, made a phone call to Birmingham. They drove to Montgomery. And I told his frat brothers after the fact, like this one here is nuts.
Yeah, unhinged.
So yeah, those are my experiences. That's all I would tell on air.
That has nothing like that has ever happened to me. Ain't nobody ever pulled no gun on me.
Really?
No.
Listening Rose like, this happens to everybody.
Never. Like somebody have been mad at me before, wanted to fight me, or either they wanted to like cuss me out or talk about my mama or whatever.
But
But
to go to the extreme of like, I'm gonna just get rid of you all together.
right,
'cause
like
I'm
pull
so
a gun on me,
mad.
like what? You sound real something.
But both times that was kind of my response. Like this, you this mad?
Right, you
Man,
real man. I should not have you that tight. I ain't never had
Look.
nobody that tight.
Look,
Sorry. like
Child.
I just happened. No male, female, cat, dog, nobody.
no. Phone lines are open. I'm gonna take a call. Then we're gonna hear from Lovely Bones. 994-8949 is the number. Hit us up. Call it. You're in with the Vital Vixens. Just having conversation about nuts, weirdo stuff,
Yeah.
guns, and all that. What you
How
want to talk
are
about?
you are the way they are today?
Yeah, what you want to talk about?
Hey, Woo, how y'all doing?
We're good. How are
right.
you?
It's Rashanique.
Hey, Rashani.
Hey, well, I wanted to chime in on that when she was reading about the STAR program.
Yeah.
It was when I first got to middle school. I'm probably a little older than you guys. The STAR program was where they had retired military personnel that when your mom can't have control of her household, they'll come in, make sure you take a bath, do what you need to do. They was like those fathers filled in when you didn't have a father, and they was like came to the school. You had to get up at 4:30.
Oh.
They treated it just like it was the military. Had PT. They had to wear these black jumpsuits, so everybody in the school knew
This is
that they
terrible.
was the trouble.
It was
just for the
bad
kids.
kids.
Wow.
Right, but it's not. Yes, it was, and then too, it was just some mothers that want the best for their children at home, so they just sent them there too. Not always for bad kids, because you have to look at it. Some parents have lost their other parent,
Yeah.
and they were just acting out, and so it just gave them an extra, fill-in meal in a home where, because there's some parents now that scared of their kids, won't even go in their room. They can have all kinds of guns in there, and I know a friend that's like that. I don't go in his room. Anybody that's living up under my household and I pay bills, you ain't gonna have no dough. I'm gonna take that thing
I
down.
was just gonna say
That was just my thought.
Right, you don't close. Ain't no closed doors in my house.
It shows like, and so I just feel like it needs to be implemented and put back, because these kids are getting guns from somewhere, and these adults know.
Mm. Thank you so
Wow.
much, Rashani. Yeah, I'm taking the door off the hinges, taking your phone.
I'm going through your phone.
Yeah.
Actually, your phone is linked to mine. I can
Yeah,
see
I'm
who
gonna
you're
do all
texting.
that.
I can see your social media. It
I'm gonna
doesn't
be that.
matter.
I'm gonna be that parent.
I can shut your phone down at 9:00 if I want to.
Oh,
You
absolutely.
can't do
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah, I went through that phase with my children, and of course, when I bought a phone, it already had the tracking on it and all of that. We put the family wear on it, so
Mhm.
we did that. I don't know when I heard about the STAR program, when you were just talking about it, and it said it was something for foster children. That's why I said, "Oh, the state failed me because they didn't offer me this program." They also emancipated me at 16, but whatever. But that's not hey, let's just move forward.
That's
but
a part of the story.
it
too, though.
is,
So,
though. It's
like,
true, that was why I wasn't allowed to go to any more Birmingham City schools, because they were like, "Nah, we tired of you, sis. We just gonna emancipate you. Be grown. Do you?" And so
And I feel that they failed you
yeah, they did.
because you were
girl.
still a child at 16.
It was okay, Nah, you know what?
But they won't take responsibility for that.
No, of course not.
so, but
but-
Black, hear what you saying? They,
I was
they.
it brought me to the young lady who just called. The program identifies, they know it's a lack of father figures, right?
Mhm,
So she said, "Hey, it's for women that have lost control of their home. It wasn't for single parents, right?" So it was identified that women don't have control of the parenting without a male. That's what it sounds like the program is saying. And while I do think it takes parenting from both sides to make a whole, I do think programs like this kind of crushed us, right? Because I was raised by my mother. Yes, she passed when I was young, but prior to her passing, let me tell you something. Yes, I was a menace still, but I knew when Big Red came around here, be still. Don't breathe hard.
So it's about you. So you said you were a menace. Nevertheless.
But
what was it?
it was just certain people I knew not to act up in front of, like my relatives in the shop. Baby, don't get me started. I could not. Miss Betty, the Jordans. Listen, it depends on what corner I turned on, how bad I was gonna act. But when I got over there by Oliver, away from the whole city, because the shop was the city. Don't look at me like that. It was. Baby, it would go down. Now, when I got back in the city, I had to make sure my folks wasn't gonna be telling on me, because it was a different time. You had a village and they could yoke you up. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't a fool. Oh no, my mama is working 2 jobs, but my auntie Kim up there, she'll handle me.
Somebody knows me. Somebody sees me.
Because it's not like we like parents just started, single mothers or parents in general just started struggling now.
Right.
Like I know my mom worked 2 jobs at one point when I was growing up, so. Like we can't blame it on parents working.
No,
it's
not
the
at all.
extra.
I remember telling my daughter, mamas know everything. Of course, now at this point, she may not believe that, but this wasn't long ago. And I said, hey, I'm going to tell you how things happen. Whatever it is that you're involved in, whatever it is that's happening, it's going to come out. Period.
Yeah.
And we know that, right? We live that life. So it is what it is. We just wait on a day and pray that maybe it won't, but most times it does. So I added a little bit to that. Play with me and watch how I find out, and watch how your life changes.
That is that opened my eyes.
And that was the one. I don't have to really. I'm not about to be beating on you.
Right. You don't have to.
I ain't
You don't
doing none of
necessarily
that.
have to. I don't remember the last time that I whooped my child. Like,
Yeah.
it's just your tone and what did I say?
We laugh, we talk,
Yeah.
we joke, we do all of that.
But
So
she
when
know who
people
to
say,
play
"My
with
child-
or
my
when to play.
the parents want to be friends with their children. I want my child to know that mom is friendly, but my mama will also leave me toothless. And
Right.
yes.
Have you eaten your dinner through a straw?
Yes. Because I definitely, I've had that moment with my girls. My girls are 19 and 22. So,
Mhm.
I've had to let them know, like, you can still be my girls, or you can be one of these little wenches I know in the street.
Like, you pick, baby. It's
You
on
pick.
you. So yeah, parenting it's not easy, but at the same time, it's something that, and it like AB said, there's not a lot that has changed, but it's something different.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something different. There are a lot of places now, and I guess even back in the day, like as a teenager, there were certain schools I kind of thought was like something off a movie. I ain't really trying to skip to your school. I don't really want to talk to no boy from your school because y'all different.
Right.
Like,
Y'all look different.
Yeah, y'all look different over there. I don't know.
Right.
But I don't know that it's like that anywhere now. I don't know that our children feel like that about any other place now. I don't know. Maybe I should ask. Is there any
let's
school that
ask.
y'all avoid? Like, he go to we gonna say West End just because it's close.
Right. No, he go to West End.
And is there anywhere like that now?
I don't know, because I remember even when we went to college and guys would try to talk to us like, "Where you from?" Montgomery.
Oh, you a local?
No, I ain't talking to local. No.
Oh,
That's how we used to feel about Bessemer. I couldn't even get it out right.
Okay, y'all. Anybody listening to Bessemer?
I rap Bessemer. I told you my
Yeah,
story
we
from Bessemer. It's not like that. They know it's love,
But they know
it is what it
is
is.
Like, you got to be like being from Birmingham and Bessemer surrounding areas. You
No,
got to
and it
know the
wasn't just them
reputation
saying-
that where you're from carries. Like, you from Birmingham, you all right?
Listen,
I'm
now it's a different feeling when you say, "Oh, I went to Bessemer City Schools," or you say, "I went to Lanier."
Yeah.
It identifies where you're from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you say, "Oh, I went to just Lanier," oh, you were there when they were about to change the name, weren't you? Okay. Oh, but if you went to Lanier,
And I can
You
kinda
the
rock with
person we
folk
don't
from
wanna date.
Lanier, but interesting conversation. 994-8949. If there's anywhere in the city that you won't travel because it's just different, that's a part of the conversation. But the most serious and vital part of the conversation right now, we're talking about just how things have changed and the fact that most of the headlines that you see when it comes to somebody being killed or some event being turned up or turned out is younger people.
our younger people.
Yeah, it's they look like we said, they got locks, they this, they that, they look like us.
Yes.
I want to go back to the game, to the high school, the state championship game.
Oh,
Man, it was such a vibe. Like, we were having a good time. Huffman was playing, not Coleman, or was it Coleman? I can't
it was
remember.
Coleman.
It was
It was
Coleman.
Coleman.
Okay, so we played Coleman. Took my daughter, took her friend with us. It was a great time. Saw a whole bunch of old schoolmates. Cool. We lost the game. Not tripping. It's a game. It's over. This what happened didn't have nothing to do with losing the game, though.
Okay.
The girls came to the game just to fight.
Mm.
And there were, like one part of me was looking at the other people that were at the game and how they were responding to us, to our children acting like this. So I'm watching that like, damn.
Right. Like
look, y'all, I don't know what to say, but y'all, I don't know.
But these mine, they good.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, mine was they right
I don't
here.
act like that.
But the other part of it's like the whole thing, like the generalized idea about life. When you can stand there and watch it too, you see what it is. I see why you got folks.
I feel disgusted,
crying and shaking. Old people, like old grandmas and grandpas that came to see their grandkids play these games. And it's like we came to a basketball game, and I'm talking about young ladies.
I was so shocked that it was all girls.
Girl fighting like damn.
I saw
animals.
not one fight where guys were fighting.
So
I saw several videos.
Okay, so that's one thing though. But it was one guy in particular that I saw that was instigating. You run around hopping like you done king. You that excited about it. And I pointed him out. Police walked up casually as about the third fight broke out. I said, hey, this one right here, this young man right here, he has bounced around here, I know 10 times back and forth, just hyping it up. I ain't know, and I hadn't seen not one man yet grab him by his shirt and lift
That's
him
correct.
Because I would have wanted to be that man in that
right.
moment.
Boy, sit down.
I wanted to be that guy, but I ain't that guy.
But I can also understand why a guy would just be like, because I want to make it home to my kids, and he might shoot me.
Yeah.
He's a child, but I have to be able to.
Quick.
He will shoot me.
So then that goes back to the question: well, what do we do? What do we do?
The conversation has come full circle, right? Because it started with us kudosing how we brunched yesterday, versus how they brunched today, right? Versus how they brunch today, right? So the way they brunch today, no one can say it's a male thing because we had a male-based brunch. Ours was full of guys,
so many of them.
Men that look like our culture, men that represent our culture, from top businessmen to
politicians, to
police
officers,
to the hoodies of the hood. Came through swagged out. So it's not that; it's a real mindset with the younger generation. And because we're not a part of it, I don't know that we can solve it. That's where I get confused, because sometimes you can be hip and included, but still on the outside, not understanding what's happening, right? And I think that's as vital as we are. I think until we get a true insight, we're going to need Carmen to do it. We're going to need baby girl to do it. They're going to be able to tell us, this is what we're saying. This is how it's moving. See?
Like,
right. That's kind of how you be too. Like, I don't talk to them. Like, since Nadia was like 3 or 4, she don't like bad kids. If you mean and be trying to hit and cuss, she don't.
Like, what's wrong?
She ain't ever wanted to play with them kids. Like, mama, they bad. I don't want to play with them. Tell them I ain't here. She don't want no parts of kids who don't know how to act. She don't. Like,
so trying to figure that piece out then. Like, it really becomes a conversation that somebody got to figure it out. But then the question always looms, well, what do we do?
What do we do?
And nobody really has an answer for that because it's different.
It's different.
And then like the ones who could possibly make a large impact, they're too busy pointing fingers at who should have done it. Well, the mayor need to do it. Then the city council need to do it. Then now it's the teachers. No, let's start at your house. How often are you at home?
I think you opened up part 2, second hour, because like, what? Whose job is it
to raise your kids?
Oh, okay.
In the community they're causing trouble in. Because here's the reality of it. While they are Billy Badass down on Inslee Avenue, what they not is Billy Badass on John Hawkins Avenue in Hoover, Alabama. So it is a lack of respect for what we build. How do you get that back? They lost it at home. So we need it back at home. It is not no one is coming to save us. Save yourself.
And just as you were, like I was just saying, you was to ask Carmen, Deshauna Monet, our photographer from yesterday. She said, I'm gonna ask my kids to help, but they don't like bad children either.
Because you can only raise what you are. You can only rear. That's the problem. We're not raising fruits and vegetables. We're not raising animals. You can only rear the way you are. I cannot rear you to be someone and guide you to be someone, because children are people.
Absolutely.
They're people.
No matter what
yeah.
a person says, oh, I reared my child to be this way. No, you had a good person that was birthed, and you had an opportunity to guide a great character person.
Pretty much clean slate, but environment,
all of that
Yeah.
plays a part.
It's so many different the innate ideas of whatever. A
But
lot of
you
people,
don't always have to be a product of your environment.
absolutely not good
No.
or bad. A lot of people thought that I was
Look
the
at
only
Woo.
child. I was just listen
Yeah.
to Rose. I was just about to say a lot of people met my younger brother for the first time yesterday.
Girl, somebody else was like, "Who was that?" They look like Dana. I was like, "That's my brother." They like Dana right now. I was like, "Oh my god!"
You know,
yeah.
like that type of situation. That's my brother. Same household, same bedroom. Like,
Okay.
this is my brother. I was there when my mama's water broke. I was like, it's time. That's my whole brother.
Yeah.
So you if anybody, if you know what I'm saying. But
Mhm.
yeah, that can happen where my both parents in the house, like all that,
Here's a question.
all that.
Do you think we are at a position in a place where we are, and this is a question of accountability, where
Mhm.
we can honestly say, goes back to that parenting question, that's my baby in the house. That's my baby when they causing drama in the streets, but in the house, I can't get Ray to take the garbage out. So I know who this is. Are we in a position to be accountable to say, hey, my child is not a nice person. Hey, my child has
No,
poor character
I've
skills.
never heard anybody say that about their child. Even the shooters,
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
their
he
parents
would give his shirt off his back.
You never hear the reality of who that
No,
person
he
is.
stole the shirt off his back.
So of course he'll give it away.
Y'all, we gotta go. We coming right back. Hour number 2. I want you all to call in 994-8949. You can call in right now. And as soon as we come back in the top of the hour, we will pick up right where we left off. You're listening to Vital right here on V90.9 WATV Sunday nights. The V stands for Vital.
It's a real break or a short break. It's a real break or a short break. It's a real break or a short break. She went outside.
Rosa, you see me some water? Thank you. And be sure to lock your door.
We in here by ourselves. Because if we in here by ourselves,
Yeah, we bitches.
this by itself. Ah, there you go.
No water.
No water.
Oh.
Good child. Who's this? It sounds like Method Man. That's the guy that made her get it. I always ask her who is that. Cause what's this though? What's this? That little kid. She be like, kill that. Move forward. Get out of here.
Okay. God.
Dang. My goodness.
My throat was dry.
B90.9 WATV. We're on Sunday nights. The V stands for Vital. I am Lady Woo. Ladies, introduce yourselves. Reintroduce yourselves.
Blacks in the building, y'all.
Hey, it's your girl, Lovely Bones.
So, continued conversation from the first hour. You all are commenting and saying different things. Let's shout you out. Who we got rocking with us, ladies?
Got Leticia Embry and Deshauna Monet, Amanda Jackson, Brandon Bryant, and Adarius Matthews.
All right.
Over here we have Kim Jordan. It's Leisha, LaSherica Kathy, Morgan King. We have Quentin. We have O'Shawn Harmon. We have John Hall. We have our own James Walker. We have Sherry Usher, CC, RN, Indy Inslee,
What up, Indy?
Kevin Harris, and Roderick Tillman, and Melissa Hinton.
What up, everybody on this side? Reddy Kruger, what it do? Rashanique called in. Emily Amy Reed is here. Jonathan Haddon, Denise Thomas, Carla Benson. Hey, Pauline Long, Doc. Hey, Krishana.
Krishana comment just had me so weak. I didn't see it at first.
What?
Talking about how Haley door is off her room right now.
Yeah,
She mean that. Ain't no closed doors in here. We'll take it off the hinges.
Yeah. So look, I'm
Every
trying
day.
to find out. Let me find out that you're watching. I'm gonna come to you and see what your comments are, because I do want, it's different streams, so we want to make sure that we're seeing your comments. And I think that I do see the ones from this stream. So I keep looking. If you want to come in and join in on the conversation, do that. So Black, you were saying something before we left, or one of y'all was saying something. I was like, we'll pick up right there when we come back. I don't know what it was.
She
Y'all know
said,
my memory. Good.
"Oh, because I don't think she had said that was the second topic you had opened up to."
I did, you did, and I should have held on to that. But she was drinking that water like
It was delicious.
like it was in the middle of the night,
Man.
and you too.
Why do we do? Let's go there.
Be so thirsty.
I need to go over Kayla's house and get my Yeti cup. She got it in my bag from last night, but that's so weird. Why we do that? Why everybody be needing a cup of water by
I keep my
And then
my
bust the
Vixenz.
bottle, like
Mhm.
crushed it out like it's a Capri Sun bottle or something, like cup or something, like just drank it so hard it threw me completely off.
Ooh, you was like, dang, she thirsty.
My throat was dry.
I sit it all cute and put the top
You
on.
did.
I
You
looked
took a
up,
sip.
like,
My whole bottle gone. I was like, "Oh, this water was
This is
good."
one of those topics that get your mouth dry. Like we done ran out of answers, so we done talked about it.
And we talk now.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of talking about it that can be done, but solutions. So just to recap,
That's where we
with this
were.
conversation, right? Okay.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
that's
and
where
how
we
people like to
were.
try to blame other people,
Right.
mayor, and
That's exactly where we were.
Boom.
Who is responsible?
So
Yes.
let's talk about that. We talked about going back into the households and having the conversation. Well, raising your children. What does that look like? Do you have to be in the home to rear or raise or nurture your child? If your child is at home, just as long as you're at work, they should be at school, right? Then if they get out of school at 3 or 3:30, you get off work at 5 or 5:30.
at the latest.
Most times.
Most times, yeah.
What happens when you all are there together in the evening?
I have a routine.
Okay.
Every evening. I get home by 5:30, 6 at the latest. I come in, get everybody settled. I'm making dinner if I haven't cooked dinner the previous night. Go get your bath. We're gonna watch TV for about an hour. Did you do your homework when you first came in while you was eating that snack? No, do your homework. If not, then you do that and we just kind of chill. Like we spend time together. We watch TV together. She's not in her room with the door closed all the time. Sometimes, I want to be by myself, and she does too. So I give her that space. But if sometimes she can lay in my bed and we just chill every night, Monday through Friday. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna come in the house and we're gonna do the same thing. I have her on the schedule. I function better in structure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the mornings when we get up, did you make your bed before we leave out this house? Like you want me to wake up and cook you breakfast, a hot breakfast. She don't
Yeah.
want no Pop-Tart.
Definitely.
So since
not
I'm doing that,
Oh my God. When the
so,
name
but
of my
since I'm doing
children.
that, like you're gonna make your bed, you're gonna pick up your clothes.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you have to set boundaries and instructions that your kids are aware of. My mama don't play that.
Absolutely.
My mama
Mhm.
expects this. So when you do that, I feel like it makes them have more respect for and act more respectful once they're out in the open. Because nobody ever tells me that now their mouth is real flip. Now her mouth is flip at home, but not in public. She know how to act.
I think you identified something that I say all the time. You said, hey, you have your daughter make her bed up. Not being funny. Half the adults that are listening don't make their bed up.
I just started getting into the routine of it. And
I
so
make my bed
based
up every day.
Every day I make my bed up.
I
Every
have
day.
to. It does make sense. It
I
makes
can't
things-
go to sleep if the bed's not made up. I'm gonna make it before I go to bed anyway.
And,
So
like,
it's
take the
yes.
space.
Right. Like how people keep their
Tighten it
houses
up.
and stuff nasty on a regular basis. Like, how do you think clearly? How do
Okay.
you live peacefully in a dirty house?
The what we're saying does flow into the topic though, because
Absolutely.
that's where I'm going with it. The people that we're identifying that has the most notable problems, because as we said earlier, look at Wu and her brother. You can have different characters come out the same environment,
Yeah.
but most people's environment breed that sort of violence, breeds that sort of
Chaos.
that non-caringness about your community. Not being funny, where I bought my house at. I can't stand my neighbor. We're trying to drive him out. He's trying to drive us out with the base, thinking it's the projects. But our problem is starting to come to fruition, right? We, like I told you guys, he thinks it's a tow yard, so he's got 50 cars, right? Well, someone put a notice on one of the cars. He moved it. Grass is dead, oil stains, everything we don't want to see in our community, right? Well, we don't want to see, but this person who just purchased a home less than a year ago, this is how he came in our community, right? But he left a community like that. So when you think about this, is the mindset that his children have. When his children run through my yard, they'll drop their Dorito bag. I'm going to be that woman that gets on their nerves because I come right outside. Hey, come.
I do that too now. Like,
now I'm waiting on you when you get off the school bus because I know you're gonna run through my yard and throw your trash out here. Get back over here or walk the long way because your house is next door to mine. You don't have to cut through my yard.
Go back, go around. Oh, so yeah, like what happened to those people? Who, I see
They're
little
not there.
children walking to school, like little children
by themselves.
Yes, to the point where my daughter's like, "Where he going?" It's just really different, and you want to
It's
ask them, like,
different.
"Baby, what?" I get if your parent works and they're already going to work. They better be going to work. They better not be at home.
Laying in the
just
Probably
bed.
hanging out.
not. They probably at home because it's not what it used to be, right? Like our parents would walk us to school if they didn't have a car. Our parents would walk us to the point.
Somebody.
Right.
Yes.
It was a parent in the group. Like it was never just a group of us just wilding out.
Even if
just
it's a
trying to
group of
make
y'all
it.
walking, there's
It was
an adult
a
around.
adult.
At least
Yes.
one. Like we shift. We
Yes.
take turns.
I want us to think about this, and I am thinking about, once again, me and my brother and us being, our parents. We had a van until I was in high school. We had a van, and it was rare that the van wasn't packed. Like we had his friends, we had my friends. Most of his friends had sisters. That, like most of my friends had little brothers,
Mhm.
and it was always that. I think about how Black referred to them as the bad kids, right? Like we know the troubled children.
Mhm.
We know children with behavioral issues. We know children who, like, all right, man, like so and so kind of, they aren't kept. They aren't. They don't.
Mhm.
They don't have the things that the other children have. Those were who my friends were.
But just because they don't have what other people have does not mean that they're bad. It does
And
not.
I wanna be clear
that's
about that.
right. That's not what
That's
I'm
true.
implying. The poor children were always ill raised and don't know
That's
how to act.
true.
That's not what I'm
And
saying.
that's also who, even as a child, I took to some. So some of my friends are listening now, like, good, it wasn't me, but maybe not. Maybe not you, but those are the people who my heart would go to, and I'm going to go to that person, as opposed to, like, I would tell my parents, like, well, hey, I want to pick so and so up because I see them walking by themselves all the
Aw.
time. Like,
You've always been woo. That is so nice.
She always been real grown and crazy.
but
Aw.
y'all don't. I mean, you don't remember that child that was like,
I was that child and I didn't have that compassion, but I wasn't looking for it either, right? Once my mother passed, that
it changed
level,
you.
that level of compassion. Well, I didn't see it from anywhere else. I was 9, and my life changed. My birthday is August the 1st. My mother passed on August 20th. I was 9 for 19 days. I didn't know how to be 9. Like my life, I was still 8, right? So,
Right.
I didn't know that it was a compassion level of. I didn't know it was a difference in the level of compassion that an adult will show you
better be
if you
glad I
have
didn't find you.
I know, girl.
Right.
I'd probably been
She
in them.
would've been
Can
under her
Rosa come
wing.
live with us? Because
So
I
it,
want her to stay with
but
us.
it,
She need a
see,
mama.
It was, but
Yeah.
it's different. So I can understand I can understand the child that's out there trying to find something or someone, right?
Oh my God.
Because it looks like a movie, me watching Woo's life. I remember those kids. I remember it's a set of twins, Nakia and Nicole. I remember Miss Coleman. I remember so many parents that was like, hey, I remember, and they would invite me over, and I was
Okay.
excited to see this level of parenting, this
Okay.
level of love, right? But I didn't have it at home.
And it wasn't consistent.
That's correct. So they couldn't see me every day. They couldn't get me every weekend.
Right.
So, but when I saw it, it was like, whoa, this is so dope to be here. You
So
know,
what if it had been consistent? How would you have been different?
of course, I was emancipated because I literally was a nuisance. I know I was a nuisance as a teenager, and it's a terrible word, but
It's
we're
the
in.
honesty for me.
That's correct. I'm in a space. My position on the show tonight is accountability, right? So, as an accountable person, child or not, once you gain consciousness of your actions, no matter the age, I do think you are accountable. I think
Yeah.
the crutch of a child is. It's just that, because if you have a 13-year-old that's busting windows, you know you're doing wrong. So he's just a kid. You a lie.
I'm not
That's
right.
Come over here.
You know what I'm saying?
He a criminal.
So
He gonna
I
fix
don't
my
know.
window.
I do think for me, because of the character I have, I do
Mhm.
think it would have been different have I had that consistently, right? I think I would have been different, but I don't know. So yes, I do think that aspect would make some of
If consistent.
if consistent, would change some of the behaviors we're seeing from the young adults, like the Panama City children, the children that are out here
Okay.
shooting.
So
Wow.
with
Thank
you
you for sharing
saying
that.
that, like that's one way that could help. If you are that parent that knows that your child has a friend that's less fortunate or doesn't always have access to, or can do the things that you do with your kids, invite them over every other weekend or one weekend a month just to give that child a break. Like, you never know how much of an impact that can make on a person to be able to get a break from home sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I learned something within my own family that really was eye opening for me about how you will have a child that needs stability. And you have like immediate family that's stepping in and say, you know what, we're going to give this child what they need, because no
Mhm.
child of mine is going to be out here like this. But then you have other relatives on other sides that fight against that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want this child to have better than what you're doing for
Mhm.
what?
Nope,
Mhm.
ain't ish on, then they ain't gonna be shit.
And then when we grow up, or when they grow up, and now I'm watching the news and I'm seeing, like, I can see fast forward to what life could be like for this child if you
That's
don't let us
correct.
intervene.
Right.
But do you think so? Now you can see it, but so think about, for us, we didn't have social media and we didn't have these
Right.
fast track options, right? Well, if we had them, we weren't aware of them. They weren't so mainstream. And honestly, our generation kind of has leveled out, because our generation is the generation you're seeing now that's like, no, buy black. I don't know why we're not supporting black business. So that, our generation, I think, is going to be what changes the black dollar staying in the community 8 seconds.
Yeah, going back to the 70s, that part
Yeah.
of us.
That part of us, right? So I do think each generation will mature and matriculate into life differently, right? But I think what we're seeing right now, the chaos and the violence, the grouping, the coupling of the unsupervised
Yeah.
children, that's what
Yeah.
we're seeing,
Well, to
right?
be honest, those kids, a lot of their parents are our age.
Yeah,
Mhm. That's what.
absolutely.
Mhm.
And were they the ones that we used to be in school with? Like, I'm not sitting with them.
Right.
Mhm.
They are.
Hey, Patricia Todd. Hello. So, what we're talking about, I want to recap and then ask another question about pride.
Well, we're saying that, hey, the consistency of nurturing, if it's consistent, how impactful it is. So we're saying that this could be, because we were asking, well, what's the solution?
I was just about to say I need a pen and
Uh,
some paper, because this is how you come up with the
a plan.
A
Mhm.
plan.
So okay, so one of them was that if I would have had continuous nurturing, and then I guess a pivotal thought on that is a continuous nurturing without negative involvement from those who don't want to. So okay, help me word that.
Mhm.
Were there people around that didn't want you to get that continuous nurturing? Did it because it exposes them for what they're not? Like, what happened? What is
mhm.
that? What is
Most
that?
certainly. So, man, that's a point to make, right? So when it became evident that, hey, I want to hang out at Miss Coleman's house because she doesn't mind cooking my sister and I dinner, whereas you'll leave us in the basement with nothing to eat for hours, right? So when it became a problem with hanging out with Miss Coleman. That's true.
Right.
Yes. So I don't know how you alleviate that, because
Baby,
once
run
you
away,
identify,
baby.
and
Right,
that's
I was
what I
just
did.
run,
That's
baby.
crazy.
Run,
That's what I
Forrest.
But
did.
because you think of the mind of a child, and y'all know I'm always thinking, especially on air and on this show, I'm thinking from the terms of a mental health professional. I'm a mandated reporter if a child says that I'm being abused.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a parent, or I was once a child if I say pack a bag and find the closest place to go because you're being abused. It's two different ways to go about it, right? I see what's going on, and as a mandated reporter, I'm going to say, okay, we got a situation. I need further investigation. So then, you call whoever you need to call, or you can be a hero and you can just step in and say, you know what, I'm going to talk to them directly, and I'm going to tell them that I'm going to make a report and I'm going to step in. Oh, so now you've taken on a whole situation. But some people end up being those people. Like, I just can't stand by and watch these children suffer this way.
But see, nowadays it's different. Nowadays, where people say, "Oh man, you shouldn't have called the state." They coming. Now the state is coming. In our day, the state wasn't coming. I remember telling people at my school, "Hey, this is what I'm living like," and those same people will call the people that I just told you about. I love my grandmother to death, but I'll never forget walking from Bessemer to Raleigh to tell my grandmother the way I was being treated. And
how far is Bessemer to Raleigh?
Mm-hmm, I walked there as a child, and because I just was like, my grandmother is gonna have your head for this, boo. And she was so outdone it was so shocking and jarring to her. Mm-hmm. So she thought she was doing the right thing when she was like, well, let's talk about it. Let's call him, So it was, the resolve wasn't there while the effort was there, but the resolve wasn't there. Right. So that's what we're dealing with. There that you're talking about. How do they get past that?
These are children. Mm-hmm. Children are like, who's your legal guardian?
Yes.
Right. You got that piece of it. Nosy neighbors don't know how nosy they can be because they don't know what they're about to uncover. Mm-hmm. Because once DHR in your house, they ain't gonna never be out of it.
And then it's everybody's fault then. And no,
but yours. Yes. Like, I was just trying to help, and now y'all want to check my closet and my jewelry box for what?
It's okay.
Look, comment. There should be an alternative to DHR. There should always be a safe space for kids, and we do know that there's one being built right now. I want to say 2nd Avenue North, 2nd or 3rd Avenue North, right? It's right up in the same area with the POB, and also right next to the new firehouse shelter. So it's for children. I want to say it's the way station. I can't think of the name of it.
I saw it. I saw what you're talking about, right by the fire station.
It's
the shelter house.
It's for children. So it's important to have a place, but do children know to go, how to go?
No, because this is my first time hearing about it.
Well, it's not for us,
but still, children it's for children. So how do children know if there aren't any adults that would tell them where to go?
So
do teachers know?
I was just about to say
they gotta go into school, I would think.
We'll find out.
Yeah, let us help propel this because we need the children to know. That's correct. Because I think that's dope, right? Because some of the kids, what's really happening, they don't have anywhere to go. Yeah. So I ended up influenced incorrectly. Influence is huge.
There we go. How lack of consistent nurturing can lead to consistent abuse. It grows into another form of nurturing, right?
Yes.
And DHR ain't all bad. I will say that. They're not all bad. We know some really great workers, but at the same time, I feel like DHR does tend to drop the ball sometimes because, like, you can't just take someone's children and tell them, hey, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, and then we'll give them back. Are you helping that parent do this, 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 and this, this, and this? Like, I feel like there should be some other therapeutic touch or something also involved with DHR having custody of your children for however long. Like, the children are getting a better household and somewhere more safer for them to be, but how are you helping the parent reach the goals that you're setting for them? Because some parents don't have access to a vehicle to get a job and to be able to move their kids to a better place or to have running water all the time or to always have on power or get a pest control to come out there and do sometimes people don't have control over that stuff. Mm-hmm. So I feel like there should be help for parents as well, not just taking people's kids because you're just pissing people off because you can't, what choices do they have?
I agree with that. I do think, I agree with it because I've seen it from a participant. I know the name of the only DHR worker that I think made DHR are great. I'm 40 years old, and I know Frances Spears, if it was not for her, I think she's the only DHR worker that attempted to assist me after my mother passed. She's the only one that cared. She's the only one that heard me say, this is how I'm living. This is how I'm being treated. And she was concerned, you know. And by the time I got that concern, I was so broken till, you know, her.
Did you know how to receive it?
I did not. And she tried to help me. And I was like, girl, I already made up my mind. I'm out of here. You better know it. I'm out of here.
Little girl.
Baby, stop this car.
Down.
As soon as you stop this car, I'm out of here. I don't care where it's. Stop it.
Okay,
I want to stop it all.
Okay, look, girl. Like, you have been traumatized, and I know it. And I'm gonna let you go.
And that's
I'm
how
gonna give you my number.
That's how Miss Spears handled me.
You
I
have
swear to God,
like,
that's how she handled me.
Call
me, Rosa.
You look him in the eyes. When you figure it out.
When she figured that she'd lost me, all she did was pass me her number. And when I used it, she had already passed.
Oh. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I don't know how many teenagers listen to Vital. I know I meet a lot of children. I'm not gonna lie. I meet a whole lot of children like later on that'll be like, oh my God, I used to listen to y'all every Sunday night. And they be like 16. So I'm like, you've been listening all your life, basically. Yeah.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are one of those listening and maybe in need of maybe that conversation, not to steer you in a direction of I want to emancipate myself from my folk, but more so I need to figure things out. I need help figuring things out. Hit us up. Like we are easy to access. We're in so many places right now, and I even post a number for you. Patricia Todd, you and I may need to get back acquainted closely. It's been a minute since we've been in the same space, but I see you putting up some great resources.
Oh, she is, isn't she?
And I will say that Judge Hilliard and I have been having conversations and others in family court, so they will be on soon. I do know that for a fact. Next comment. Okay, cool. So thank you for that information. And what are you up to these days? I would be happy to hear that as well. So yeah, let's reconnect very soon. She always kind of comes in on the second hour, and that's like you. It's odd to know when people
she'll be in this
right. Like
they coming
right. So it's a couple of people I'm wondering like, where are you doing this conversation? Because this is what you like. Where you? So a lot of things are coming to the front. Looking at who's having a conversation. Like we are mothers. We are. We could be gang. It just kind of depends on what's necessary, right? It really depends, which means that we are able to have this conversation from so many vantage points. We can say it from this perspective, from when I was a teen, when I was a girl, when I was alone, when I felt like I needed somebody to understand me, when I didn't know who to call, when I felt like my mom was whipping me too hard, or just okay, I think this is.
Or when she was jumping me that time.
Lord, don't let her jump you, Lord.
She jumped on me.
She is fighting me.
Right. This is not a whooping. She fought me. Mama fought me.
And
I died one time and everything.
Like we made it though. I'm still here.
But I'm here.
But it wasn't right how she did it.
Ma'am.
Now, if you can relate to that and you turned out to be great, we need to be consistent in the community. And consistency may just be, it may be conversation like what we're having, but having it in platforms where people can hear and see us. And we've done that too. It's time to get back to it.
We should maybe do that in some schools. We do it for adults.
That'd be dope.
Yeah. We'll take some children with us because who mama is they?
Like, I know there are programs that they have for girls, like they have Girls Inc. year round. They also have Girls Inc. in the summer. Me and Woo's daughter both went to Girls Inc. I know I went to Girls Inc. and Eureka when I was a child.
That's dope.
I don't know what they do for boys.
I don't either, and that's always that's not Boy always Scout. My concern, but that is my concern.
How many urban little boys go to Girl Scouts?
Go
to do Boy Scouts or
None.
Eagle Scouts? None.
Well, okay, Boy
I don't
Scouts,
know
Eagle
one.
Scouts. You got some mentoring groups. You
No,
got.
I don't know any except for C4.
Oh, there are. Look, okay, y'all reach out because the Man Project, Richard K. There are people, and I think what happens also is that the popularity of what social media will do for you.
That is
like
correct.
in your daily life. And this is not about anyone. Oh, Growing Kings. Yeah, you're right. Look at Patricia. There are so many programs, right?
Oh yeah, Boys and Girls Club. I forgot about that too. Yeah,
there are things. There are churches. There are small groups doing things, but those small groups are underfunded, underrepresented because, like I said before, a lot of times you have to use who you already are or what platform you've built. So if
That's
you get
correct.
on Facebook telling jokes every day and people come to you to see what you saying stupid today, when you say something positive, guess what they're gonna do? Oh, so how can I be a part of that? That's what happens. So that's how these groups grow. I'm just saying. That's what happens. For a lot of people, that's what happens. And then for other ones, I'm looking at the one that Patricia just posted. They'll be in with somebody politically inclined and they'll get grants and they'll get
Yes, that's true.
programs. You know, they'll get funding.
Yeah.
Then they're the programs that are doing a lot of the work.
Yeah.
That are
They're overworked.
And have they're using their own personal money, and
Right.
we know that because that's
Mhm.
what we've done.
Right.
We've
Yes.
always used our own money.
Yes.
I don't
Yes.
have no money to use, but
Yes. But this is
All
what
right.
I got.
yeah,
But-
and we're gonna make it work.
With
Yeah.
that being said, I do feel like that's where some of these private owners and entrepreneurs and churches should kick in the community to help these underfunded projects for kids kind of be able to do a little bit more, or expose them to something, or say, hey, I run this business, but I want to have your kids come out and learn this, or go here with my company or whatever. Like, I feel like the churches should be more active in the community.
So here is
And then I'm
my
gonna jump in too because I was about to say to that
here
point.
is, and you know, I am. Everyone's knows my position is not from most times from a religious aspect. Wow,
'Cause I'm not religious
at all. So I say for the, I don't agree with that in the sense of they are doing something, right? Some of them are doing something, but it's not so minimal. It's impactful in their circle, but
In
when
their
we're
circle.
looking at it, it's like, well, you should have went 2 blocks over, right? Well, I couldn't afford to go 2 blocks over because I'm on a 4x4 block radius. That's what I can afford, right? I do think if we look at it holistically like that, you can say, well, what are the churches doing? But I think if you break it down, like, you know, Church of God in Christ over here on 34th Street, well, they have a feeding every Saturday where they give food away, right? Well, that's doing something. They have a teen program every summer, right? Well, they only see 20 teens in a massive
Okay.
of hundreds, right? So it does not feel as impactful. But I think the verbiage is, we need to see more of those small programs, because if you're only impacting 20, well, if this one impacts 20,
Why not do them together?
Yes, if
Right.
everyone, it
We'll
goes
work
back to
together.
that consistency, right? If everyone is consistent, then we're making an impact. But I think it's all those chiefs and not enough
That
Indians.
part
We're
too.
too divided.
And then you got to think about churches are only made up of the same people that got the same issues
what
in the
we just
community. It's the
said, same
same
circle.
people. So
Yeah.
like, what are we really expecting the
How
church
would you
to
see it?
do?
Yes. How would you see it out?
I've been a part of a church my whole life. And in some of those settings, the people in the church were more prone to want to get in the community. In one of those settings, I don't remember us really doing a lot of outreach type stuff. Then the smaller the unit was of church of members, the more work we did. Like it was the smaller people with the less resources, the more we did. And then the pandemic happened. Now we don't even have a church building.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, you have the churches that aren't mega churches that have hundreds and thousands of people pouring in there. You have a surplus of offering every Sunday that aren't doing as much as the smaller family-based churches.
I agree with that. We have Nina Spears here who's saying, hey, it's a lot of programs. It's, and she's really just kind of saying what we're saying. It's a lot of small programs that some people don't even know about. So, of course, they're not receiving the funding because, like you said, they're not receiving the attention to get political support. Because once you're inside of the advocacy realm, you realize it is costly. It costs a lot to advocate. It costs a lot to be an advocate for any culture, any division that you want to attack. Children, girls, boys. To advocate for someone, it is costly. What we're not seeing is enough of these small programs being thrown out there and being utilized, right? So that we can gain data and say, hey, the program Black created, she was able to turn out 12 graduates, you know, and this is what she did on a small scale. So let's get behind her so that she can do 24 next year. But
I think that's my thing, that a lot of the movements are led by people that you don't have the individual faith in. I don't want to. I
Yeah.
don't want to work with you because I don't like you, and
I
I
don't
don't,
like you.
like you with fair reason.
Mhm.
I don't want you to be leading something that's about to be producing something that's supposed to be great because you ain't great.
And you know what? Y'all just made me think of Mama Lois. God rest her sweet
Mhm,
soul. Mama
mhm.
Lois started Girls
Grace House.
Grace House
Mhm.
in her house.
Mm.
She was taking in girls from the streets that like didn't have parents or were foster kids. It was like
The pastor's wives started the other one.
What's
Over in Ishkuda. Children's Village.
okay.
Same thing. A pastor's wife saw a little boy
See?
walking with no jacket or something, no jacket, no shoes, something like
Mhm.
that back in the day. She called some other pastors' wives. We got to do something. They open up Children's Village, and
Yeah.
it's still going, but it's like that's only one. That's
That's
only
only
this small
one.
place.
But you
Yes.
know what? Mama Lois, like she did it out of her house for like 10 years.
Mhm.
And Briarwood gave her money to build Grace House in Fairfield.
Briarwood.
Briarwood. And she built Grace House in Fairfield,
Yeah.
Alabama. Like, how did they know that this lady was doing this? Mama Lois was old doing this when she started doing this.
I said she had to be like, already almost 70 then because we knew about her. She was 80 something.
Yeah.
Camp Fletcher. So my parents were talking about that not too long ago, and then I finally saw the story on Camp Fletcher. Y'all know about that?
Mm-mm.
That's the first. She was the first Black LPN in the state.
Oh, really?
Yes, and she had a desire to help underprivileged children, and she's had a summer camp. For whatever reason, like I heard about it, and I heard about it as if it was like in the 40s. But then my parents say, "Well, I went to it." I'm like,
What?
Oh,
Right.
Yeah, what?
So they both said they went to the camp, and then they are different in age as well. So I said, okay, let's look it up. As soon as I was about to look it up, there was a story of them on Alabama, whatever that show is.
Okay.
Watched it and went and did some research on it. Another Black woman that saw the need, and then it grew into something that's still going now. I think it's 100 years old now. And another one of those stories where it's just like
An individual took
she just did it.
matters into her own hands.
It's a high need.
She just did it.
How do you get to? So, here's the question. The first lady just did it. I just saw it. Mama Lois
Mhm.
just did it. I just
Mhm.
saw the need. Is it that we're running out of people that are willing to just do it, or are we at that point where those people who are quote unquote willing to just do it are just tired because I feel like it is not impactful?
I'm just tired. Or is it that we're all just trying to make it?
I think it's that we're all just trying to make it, and we're at a point where most of us are sink or swim, and we have to make sure that our individual household is making it. Like it's a real sacrifice to bring in several children
It
into your
is.
personal home on a regular basis and feed and clothe them, especially when you're not getting funds from anywhere else to help you do that. I would, but it's tough enough with my two.
Yeah.
See,
Honestly,
for you, see,
Jefferson County legislators have over $100,000 to give to nonprofits. So if we go and establish a nonprofit that seeks to care for wayward or neglected children, we'll provide mental health services, emotional support services, cultural education,
hygiene.
and we will have tutors. They'll be in public school,
Mhm.
or either a school will allow our students in free, right?
Like they did in Fairfield.
Okay, so they
I
would
love
do
that.
that, and then they would get a monthly stipend based on performance or like we see growth. So these children are getting their own funding, they're getting their own support. What else could we put in that program so we can get this home?
Right, because all it take one nice home. Grace has started out with one. I think they have 4 now.
And we would just need to hire staff. So with the
Mhm.
like Vixenz, we do what we do. We're coming. We're going to be here. But what else? Like what else? Love and nurturing. That's when the church is coming. We just need y'all to come visit consistently.
Consistently. I think you offer the transitional living program. I remember when DHR adapted that title to put young adults in the transitional living program. That's when you transition from being under the state's care into an independent living program. I think any successful program needs that, because how do you know how to live on your own if you're not taught? right? And not being funny. If I don't have the care at home, I'm probably not being taught what I need to do when I
No.
get to this age, right? So when you think about these programs that are there to support the kids, you don't want it to be a quote. I look at a lot of them, and some of them are babysitting programs because this is what they can do until this time or this age limit, right? It's a cutoff. And then, hey, once you no longer meet the requirements, yeah, you could have been in our program the last 2 years or so, but Black, this year, we can't be helping you, right? So
Wow.
that's kind of what's
And
happening.
then you abandon me again.
And then you abandon me, and I'm just out here floating because all you taught me, most programs, and it's not a jug at them because I appreciate all of them that are out there doing something, but most of them are teaching them how to survive today. How do you make it through your childhood? How do you live through being a teenager?
I was gonna say, first of all, how do I go back? So if this child has been damaged because of life, right? I've been damaged. I started being damaged at 5, and now here I am, 12, and nobody has helped me repair this damage. So I don't know if it's stitches or if it's band-aids or if it's just open wounds. I'm not sure what it is. But I need somebody to step in and get me here first so I can speak to that 5-year-old that was damaged so that then I can move forward. Then now, okay, with that stuff kind of I can manage, right? I'm not over it. I'll never be over it. I'm not healed.
But I brought you up to par. Yes, I brought you up to a functioning state, right?
You know what? I know
learn
how
to function.
Stuff. I know where to put it.
Because I don't know what to do with the pain I had from 5 still. Because you didn't help me. Yes,
right. So then they act out at school because they don't know. They don't know how to.
Now I'm 12 because it's been 4 years since I exposed my issue.
I've been fighting.
Right. You know,
where's the Vixenz? I need them.
Honey, we really need to sit down and discuss this because you know, it's always a great idea to be able to identify it's a problem. Yeah. It's a better idea to be able to identify. Here's what I can offer.
Solution.
Yes.
Here's why
we need some help.
Here's why I didn't just stay working at Belt. You know what? I'm gonna go back to school. Like, so action happens in waves. Like, so okay, I get it now. I get this part. Okay, now you had this happen to you. You get this part. Okay, I saw this. This inspired me to talk to this person to make this happen. Then God put me with these people, and now boom, look at what we're doing. That's how it happens. So Rosa asked about, is it the just do it or is it that I'm just tired? It could be a mix of both.
It is. Yeah. It's a fair mix, right? Absolutely. It's a fair mix. It is it is a unfair thought that, everyone that's living in these destitute communities, no one cares.
Yeah.
That's an unfair thought.
But somebody that lives in the community that cares. I'm thinking,
I won't leave because I care.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't know how to fix it by myself. And yes, I'm tired of every time I go out to the store's yellow tape, or I'm tired. I can't go 2 blocks over without a shooting. That
my baby can't ride her bike.
Yes, that's a fair thought. And no, I shouldn't own the responsibility of the community because I know where my children are. I know what I want to know what my children are doing. I do my best to know. Use that verbiage, right? Some people aren't doing their best to know. Some people haven't spoken to their child all week, and they live together. Yes.
Have you talked to your child this week?
I don't know. My son is taking a box cutter to school.
Or
I
why
don't know.
he's
My
doing
son
it.
feels the need to take one to school.
Right. Well, somebody been picking on me. I'm gonna know that too because you're acting funny and different every time.
I don't know that, and that's what I'm saying. That is what we have to address. But no one is going to identify. Hey, I'm the problem. I'm leaving my child abandoned. I'm not concerned with my child. I am present. Well, I am here, but not present.
And you think about what condition you have to be in to be that person. Like to have, you see it on movies. Was it Louis and Isaiah maybe? Where Isaiah was screaming, crying, and she was just sitting there just stoned out. Like,
and here's the reality. It doesn't take away from anything to say, hey, I have a problem. I'll smoke weed more than I will interact with my child. Hey, I have a problem. I'll drink alcohol more than I'll interact with my child. It's okay to say you have a problem if you're asking for help from it, right?
Because nobody expects you to be the perfect Brady Bunch, Carol Brady mother. Like, nobody.
We as parents, baby, we are coping. We trying to figure it out, baby.
Most of us are winging it. Like, I just hope I don't mess it up.
Look, the idea that life itself is already stressful enough, and then I still have to come home and not totally give you all this negative stuff that I could. So I'm gonna go ahead and drink this whole bottle of wine, iron clothes, cook dinner, make lunch bags. Some people, I guess, they're gonna roll up and smoke some. Somebody gonna pop some pills.
Yes.
All of this to help you cope
Help
in
me
order
cope,
to.
and I can't. Come on.
Right. So now here my child is
Come on.
looking like.
Well, this is what I do
this
to
what
cope.
right.
Come
I'm in
on.
They
my
learn-
room.
these
I'm in
are
my room
learned.
coping because you don't.
Mama coping in there,
And
now we don't talk about it.
But it's normal.
Yes.
It becomes normal because it's not. This is Black. You mentioned routine. This has become our routine.
Mhm.
Patricia Todd, how are you?
I am good. It is good to be with you all tonight.
Hey, my friend.
I know. Listen, you all are on such a great topic and great ideas. And I really, really encourage you all to set a meeting for people who are interested in setting up a nonprofit to do this kind of work. There is not one that exists. Y'all may not know this, but I've run a couple of nonprofits in Birmingham, AIDS Alabama, Birmingham AIDS Outreach. You know, served in the legislature for 12 years. And my primary priority has always been eliminating poverty. And you got to start with these kids.
Right.
And I'm a white woman of privilege. I do not know what it's like to grow up as a person of color, but I know where the resources are.
And I've
So-
always appreciated you for being, yeah, I don't even know when it was that we met. But whenever it was on and popping from the beginning. And so I really appreciate you publicly putting it out there. Like I've heard it privately, but publicly putting it out there, like, hey, I know how to get it. Let's get it.
Let me send you to where the money at.
Where the money
do.
resides.
You know, it is something that needs to be done, and there are many, many resources in Alabama and federal grants to do this kind of work. I've done grant writing. I know how to form a nonprofit. You know, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Work.
I love
Yeah.
Patricia. Hey,
I'm
girl.
gonna call you and then I
Thank
will
you, Miss
introduce you
Pat.
to the Vixenz.
Okay.
All right,
I'm
thank you so
in.
much.
Baby,
all
that's
in.
Big Pat calling. Yes.
Y'all are wonderful. I love you.
Love you too. Look, it's that type of call where, and just that type of support. This is what
Yeah,
I
that's
do.
dope.
This is what I'm able to do. I don't know, like I hadn't lived the struggle that you live. I don't know the neighborhood that you grew up in, but what I do know is where the resources are, and I know that they're available. So whereas KIV may not want you to go to Panama this weekend, let's work in Alabama. So how let's jump to that. How is that gonna happen?
Child, before we talk about what is impossible to control, let's shout out Miss Todd, because man,
I appreciate
that was
like,
an amazing 30-second call.
It
That's
was
vital.
because it's rare that you get people that will say, "I'm privileged. I grew up privileged."
So I don't understand totally what you're experiencing,
Right.
but I understand it to be a problem.
Rashanique, I'm all aboard. Let's get started.
Let's work.
So 994-8949, the phone lines are open. I will be honest on air in this moment. I don't get excited a lot about things like this because I've been in many rooms and heard from many people with many plans about things. And it's like, okay, yes, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna have a meeting, and then we're gonna have another meeting, and another meeting, and
I'm
another
gonna
meeting.
stop coming because all
Child.
these meetings and ain't nothing happening.
And
I'm
another
not
meeting,
going. And
right?
don't Zoom me no more.
Yeah. So like I get excited when I know the power behind the meeting or the person behind the plan or the people that are serious about whatever it is. And I know that we're not gonna get in a situation and be like, well, I don't like that because I don't like that. And I don't want us to help them because one time we got into it at so-and-so when blah, blah, blah was running for so-and-so. And they said, and then get out.
Right.
But see,
Get out.
that's
you need to
what
grow up.
kills- That's what kills any great idea, pride, right? Because I'm so proudful to. Now, you made a great point. Hey, I have a great personal reason why I don't deal with such and such. Our history is what it is, and factually, they are a trash person. But it cannot negate from why we're here, right? And that's what we do a lot in a group in
Make
Birmingham.
excuses.
Yes, that is I think that is the crutch of Birmingham, because I think it's so many fashions of and cliques are such a terrible term.
That's what it
That's
is.
what it is.
But that's what it is.
Yeah.
So it's so many different fashions and cliques in Birmingham till I think if everyone just raised the white flag, like, yo, we're gonna attack this problem. It is no different than when the gangs of LA decided to get together after the riot, I think of the 70s, when the Bloods and Crips decided, oh, we are going to try to push this initiative where we combine our power and do for the community. I was watching a documentary on Prime where they said in the 70s after the riot, and the Bloods and Crips decided to get together, they had the lowest level of inner city crime for about 6 years until someone decided, hey, this program isn't working. But it goes to show that you can sit down, you can come to terms, because it's just a power trip in Birmingham for nothing, for no reason. Not being funny, but great land. We travel it. Alabama is beautiful, but we don't have that type of
Nothing.
traffic. Yes, to say
To say what?
to say that we will not work together. To say, hey, I don't want to be in a room with Dana because you remember what she did last year when we was at whatnot. Remember, I'm not gonna work with her.
That's fine. All right, coming to the phone lines. Caller, you're in on Vital. What is your comment or question?
My name is Junior, and I have a comment
Go ahead.
and sort of like a praise report. Like I did like 20 years in prison,
Okay,
and
Junior, let the people hear this.
last Friday, um, along with some of the people in my HR department at my job, um, they helped me file a pardon. And that following Monday, I called Montgomery to check on the status of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I also had like 3 or 4 supervisors that been working with me for the last 5, 6 years. They did reference letters for me, and they was like, "Hey," the lady was like, "I'm gonna restore your voting rights immediately," and that was less than 72 hours.
That's what's
So,
up.
Dope.
so it's like I have never voted before. Now I can't wait to vote on something.
Mm.
All
That
right.
man said, I can't wait to vote.
And I
Make sure
made a
you take
post
your
about it
ID
on
with you,
Facebook.
darling.
Yeah, I made a post on Facebook about it, and a friend of mine from back in the days, doing time, Eric Wynn, comment like, "Share Betway finna be running, and here go you a chance to vote." And I'm not promoting any candidate or nothing like that, but I'm just saying I was excited because he actually gave me a real opportunity. But anyway, getting on to what y'all talking about, I don't. I came in late, but I'm ready to do my part in whatever endeavor it is that's positive. I heard the lady
Mhm.
with the call she made. Ain't about money with me, but it's good to have money because sometimes you need money to get stuff done. And I think we definitely need some kind of political consensus in Birmingham because the mayoral race was won. Randall Wolfen won. It wasn't but like what 37,000 total votes in the city.
Mm.
23,000 went to Randall Wolfen. 7,000 went to Sheila Smoot. About
Sheila
7,000
Smoot.
mixed up. Yeah, wasn't she? Didn't what was the? It was a lady, a popular
LaShonda
lady. She got like,
Scales.
yeah, yeah. So 23,000 went to Mayor Wolfen, 7,000 went to LaShonda Scales, and it was like 7,000 more mixed up amongst some other people.
Yeah.
But the thing about it, 37,000 is a small number, So what I'm saying is our vote counts.
Come on,
Local
Junior.
government, everybody vote counts. So
All right.
yeah, I got my voting rights. I'm ready to rock and roll. So y'all can let me know if there's anything I can do.
Oh,
Junior, I think I know who you are, but you can inbox me your number. All right.
Okay.
All
I saw
right.
you one time at that rally.
Inbox me.
I think that's
All right.
Right.
absolutely
Thank
amazing.
Congratulations, Junior.
Congrats, Junior. That was a beautiful. I thought that was beautiful because he's like, yeah, I ain't
You
got
wanna
no
give a
money,
praise
but
report?
yeah,
I can help y'all,
I
whatever
had-
y'all can help me
you
do.
know.
And felons can be used as well.
But
Like
this is what this strikes up. This is what it makes what makes it vital, right? Because it's a call to action, right? Because what we said was, hey, we don't know who has the solution, but what we're certain of, the solution starts at home. It starts in these communities. It starts where the problem starts. What can we do, right? And we've had 2 callers tonight, which is huge. It's like, hey, sign me up. I don't know what it is, but sign me up. And what I would throw out there is, I bet they are not from the communities that we're trying to go in to help.
Junior might be.
Yeah.
Junior might be from the background, but I don't know he from those exact communities and whatnot. I don't know, but he sound. I don't know, but I don't know.
And you know what? Junior knew random numbers.
I was about to say
he knew those numbers.
Them
and people
babe.
who can't vote, who can vote, don't know. I don't know.
I don't know
I
the
didn't
numbers.
know
I
the
didn't know.
numbers.
Dana made me know. Like you gonna be involved. Oh, okay.
Who all gonna be over
Rosa,
there?
come on. 994-8949. It's the number 994-8949. It's the number. If you're listening, hit us up. Be a part of the conversation. All right. See some comments coming in, and we appreciate those on both sides. But what we're talking about has just kind of spun from basically the first full weekend of spring and everything that's going on around the world and who's behind it and why they are. So we went from Panama City to Bessemer to right here in Birmingham on a daily basis with the headlines of being who's been making the headlines, and they ain't good headlines. All right. So that's kind of where we are with it. That's what the conversation is about. And if you want to get in on it, it's the Fast Five. You got about 5 minutes to call in, 994-8949. You can also post your comments on social media as well.
Something we did not talk about.
Yes.
Tyree Sampson, the 14-year-old that was killed on the amusement park ride in Orlando.
Yeah.
According to what I'm reading now, he was a very gifted athlete. He was only in 8th grade where he was working out with the varsity football team. So he was a very big boy. Like these kids are here on spring break. I know Birmingham had 2 weeks. I know my daughter, they have actually just 1 week of spring break, but watch your kids this week. Try to spend time with them. Don't just send them out the house with just anybody, and kind of make them try to be more aware of what's going on.
I was going to say, because that was an accident where when you saw the beginning before they went up, he wasn't buckled in. So
that's correct.
Give your child, baby, say, hey, I'm not in.
I don't feel secure.
That part, what's going on here?
I'm really concerned with the story because the father's like, yeah, we saw him. He was nervous. Why would you let your 14-year-old go up there? Yeah, it didn't look like he was secure. Wait a minute, stop this ride.
Not only did everybody else see that you ain't, because they press it down. And
it's supposed to lock.
It clearly wasn't locked.
This boy,
we saw
in front of everybody.
In front of everybody.
So yeah,
when Nadia watched it, she was like, "Oh,
right,
mommy!"
It was on social media before it was reported. I remember we were talking about it in the group at 6 a.m. And I was like, yeah, we just saw that video. I couldn't make heads or tails out of what I was watching until the news came out. I was like, this is a terrible prank. This is terrible.
And then was the ride 430 feet?
It was really high. It was
the tallest.
It was like the height of the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, it's the tallest ride in this country. It's known for that. That's what it's built for. Because it's the tallest, and you go up there and free fall down, and without him being buckled in, he's 250 pounds. It's like
just
dropping
the whole
weight.
thought of this. Why you see it ain't down? Hey, I'm not in. I'm not secure.
Because I was from the video I saw, it just it was laying on top of his chest.
Yes, it was.
It didn't look like it was
it wasn't clamped.
So it makes you ask all kind of questions. When I say all kind of questions, I mean all kind of questions.
Yeah.
Okay, well, some other stuff going on too.
Right. Because it's no way as a parent I can watch that. And that's what was concerning to me, because the father kept saying, yeah, we watched it and he was so nervous to go. And that's what they lost me right there, because at what point as a parent, are you saying you didn't have a right to intervene? I don't understand that. I get so lost in that statement. The Shade Room showed the father, and the father was saying, hey, yeah, we knew he was so nervous and it didn't look right.
Some challenges there on all
sides.
So yeah, thank you for bringing it up. That was so. It's some things that I see. Yes, this is definitely something that needs to be discussed, or and you're still apologetic and concerned, but it's like, what in the world were you all looking at or thinking about? And then why didn't your child know to verbalize it? Hey, I'm not secure in this seat.
Teach your kids how to speak out, how to have a voice.
Yeah, let me out.
It's so many questions, like you said, so that's unfortunate, man. That was how we started the week off, talking about that, huh?
Yeah. Because I couldn't believe it. I think I was like, what?
Yeah. Because at first we didn't know it was a child, 14. We were like, you saw that man?
Right. He was a big boy. But it's the time of the year when all of these carnivals and stuff are just popping up everywhere. You have to be careful and mindful. That stuff come out of suitcases. like watch and make sure that you feel secure and your
Yeah.
children feel secure.
Yeah.
I've seen adults say like, I'm scared to get on rides now.
Yeah. That was impactful.
Yeah. So yeah. There's a lot going on, you people. A lot to pay attention to, a lot to listen to, a lot to learn. We are in the like right here at spring. Okay. We're in the spring. We're having a good time, but we also want you guys to be very much aware of everything that's going on around you, what we're discussing, what you can be a part of. If you ever have something that you want us to discuss, you want to be a part of the conversation, you can hit me up directly. I am Lady Woo at yahoo.com. Watch Woo Work at gmail.com. And y'all know, everybody's reachable. Like you go to Messenger and send them a message, and I promise I'll respond. So, Lady Woo, you can message me there, and I most likely will respond, and we can get to work. Before we go, the Birmingham Urban League has a category for their women's empowerment, and I hadn't even pushed it. Like
You have not.
yeah. So
Vote for her.
there's a thing, Empower Her Birmingham Urban League, and it's the People's Choice Award. It's two of us there, and you know us both, but I can only speak for myself. I said vote for me because I would vote for you if somebody had you running for something. So I'm going to share the link right now on all of the pages where you can see this. It's the People's Choice Award, and I didn't say a lot because I feel like I've said a lot. My work and myself, I've just done it. Yeah, like I really don't have to do a lot. I don't like to do a lot because
I do.
Oh.
I do it for you. You know, I love me some Woo.
That's your
Baby,
job.
if the
Yeah, I be
most
like-
was a person, stand up like
Like what?
If your what?
That's Woo. Who
If
you
the
talking
most
to?
was a person.
Look, if your voice is hoarse,
Call
I
black.
got you.
Call black.
so I'm gonna share the link because I'm gonna share it. So y'all go
Share
and
it.
vote for me. Tell your friends vote for me. I would love to win, but I think they were all winners. But I would love to win. Thank
for
you.
Woo.
Vote for me. People's Choice Award for the Empower Her Award from the Birmingham Urban Leagues. It's going down. Urban Leagues. The Urban League going down on the 31st of March, last day of Women's History Month. So before we get out of here, to all the women, if you're not doing something historical, you better get to work. All right. So you may want to be a part of what we talked about tonight. If so, hit us up. VitalVixenz@gmail.com is one way. I am Lady Woo at yahoo.com. Come by the radio station during normal business hours. Y'all have a blessed day and a vital week. Be easy.
Peace.
Night.
I love you too, T.
Night live.
All right, y'all. Thanks so much. We'll see y'all next